Hi, my name is Stacy Maurier, and I'm the founding lawyer of Estate Connection Law Office in St. Albert, Alberta. St. Albert is a community, for those of you that aren't from the Edmonton area, that's really close to Edmonton, and it's fairly suburban, but we're on the fringes, and so we do deal with a lot of rural property and rural estates. And one of the things I've noticed over the last couple of years is that some of our clients that are maybe in those more traditional rural areas have a belief that the oldest son must always be the executor. And they appoint him regardless of if he has the time to do the job, or the skill set. Now you got to imagine, sometimes these sons are working in Fort McMurray or maybe working overseas or in the military, and they're not here and they don't have the time to make sure that an estate is wound up when something happens to the person who wrote the will. And it causes friction because the other siblings want things to get wound up, see things deteriorating, or maybe they see this husband's spouse or family members going into the property, and it raises red flags because they just lack the proper communication. So if you're looking at appointing someone to be your executor, you don't have to appoint your oldest child. Now, sometimes that is the best choice, but just because they're male doesn't mean they're the best executor. And to be quite honest, in some of those situations, I see that because the son is out working, it's actually his wife that ends up being the executor. So if you're looking at appointing an executor, what are the things you should look for? Well, you want to make sure whoever you are going to appoint has the time to take on the job. If they're working overseas, or maybe they're juggling running a business and taking care of twins, this is not the person we should be appointing. They just don't have the time. Maybe you've appointed your siblings and your siblings are now 60, 70, 80, spending half the year in Phoenix. Well, they're not here. Are they going to have the time to do that job? Or maybe you've appointed a child who's recently gone through a divorce, bankruptcy, foreclosure, and there's questions about if they can handle the money or the stress of the job. Well, think twice about appointing those people. At the end of the day, being an executor is a big job. It's an honor for the first 5 minutes, and after that, it's just a pain in the neck. So look at who in your life you can appoint. And if you look around and see no one that you can trust with that job, consider appointing a trust company or a bank. There's several in Edmonton that'll take on that job. And there's also accountants and lawyers who are an option if you don't qualify for those types of services from the trust company or banks. Don't leave your family with a nightmare. Choose the right person so that at the end of the day, the job gets done. And if your family wants to hate the bank, well, they probably already do, so nothing will have changed. If you have questions or concerns about writing your estate planning documents, contact Estate Connection Law Office. We're here to help.